Wow, wasn't that just such a great intro? Let's just get this out of the way real quick. You know, I think it's crazy how when I was editing this, the Doomsday trailer literally came out this morning. Also, can I just say, Steve Rogers kind of just looks like a regular guy now. Like, he doesn't even look like Captain America. He just looks like, I don't know, Captain Dude Man or something. I don't know. I think Mystique's new design does actually look really great and really good though. I think compared to her old design, which I don't think was that bad, but I think a lot of people didn't really like it. Besides the one from X-Men Dark Phoenix, we can all agree that was absolutely atrocious. I think it looks a lot better. I think it looks like it has more of a personality, more of a soul. You know, you can see the bright colors. I think it's good they weren't afraid to try something new and not stick with the old design. But look, this video is about comic books, so let's start talking about that. Whether you just started reading comic books, or you've been reading comic books, or maybe this is your first video and you haven't even picked up a comic book and this is your first time trying to see if you should start getting into comic books. There's nothing really stopping you from just picking up a book and reading about a character that you like or you've known for a long time. I think the biggest issue with people not knowing how to start picking up comics is they don't know what to read, and the right answer to that question is there is no right answer. You can literally read whatever you want. When I first got into comic books, I just went on Instagram and then I looked up top 10 best comic books or top 5 best comic books for, let's say, like Spider-Man, and I looked up the best comic books for that book or that character, and then I just started reading those, and then I thought those were really good, and eventually I expanded and looked up more and more, and eventually, you know, you just start going to the store and you look at a book you think is cool, maybe you flip through a couple pages, and if you like it, then you just get that one. It can be hard to understand all the different formats of a comic book just because there's so many of them, so I'll do my best to explain it. Pretty much what you know as a comic book is probably a single issue. They tend to be like 32 pages long and they're like one piece of a whole story. Compact comics are for DC and trade paperbacks are for Marvel, but DC also makes trade paperbacks, but Marvel doesn't make compact comics, so yeah, they usually tend to be like 10 to 15 issues, and then compendiums and omnibuses are basically the same thing. They look almost the exact same, but compendiums usually have like 25 to 30 issues, and omnibuses usually have like 40 to 50 issues, so they are a little bit bigger, but they like look the exact same. DC's Finest and Marvel Epic collections are like pretty much the same thing with a full arc or a story. There's not usually like a grasp of like how many issues there are. It's just like an entire story, so it can be like 15 issues or 30 issues. It's really broad because it's just a whole story, so there's not really a set of how many issues would be in there. And then hardcovers are useless. I would die by that. There's like no point in buying a hardcover. It's just like a normal comic book, but 10 times more expensive just because it's a better material. There's no reason to get in a hardcover, and you're just like burning money if you do that. In all honesty, I want like a big collection of single issues so I can like put them up on my wall and like hang them. There's a big misconception that buying comic books just for the cover is kind of lame, but I don't think it is at all. I think, you know, a comic book is art, and there's nothing wrong with buying it just because you think the cover is cool and putting it up on your wall or something because you like the cover of it. And I think it's really cool to have like a collection of something that you really enjoy and you really love, especially when you read it for so long and you put time and you put money in it. It really feels like something that you have and you can enjoy in your own room, so you can feel and enjoy the hobby that you have. Recently there has been a huge resurgency in like new comics and new books being made right now that are like so fantastic. For the longest time there was just like duds after duds of books coming out that just weren't good, and with the new Absolute Universe and the Ultimate Universe with Marvel and DC, and the new Ben 10 comics that I recently just started collecting for myself with only one first printing, new comics and people and writers are like starting to come back and make like really great books. It's so cool to see new and creative things being made again, and I think right now is a great time to start getting into comic books because all the great things being made right now. And to prove that I'm actually just not yapping, I'm not being like a little poser, I'm not LARPing here, alright? This is real to me, alright? I love this. I live for this stuff, okay? I'm gonna show my own collection, some of the own stuff I have, because we do not LARP around here. Yeah, you see this right here? This is my Spider-Man collection with my Spider-Man comics and my Spider-Man action figures and my Spider-Man Funko Pops. Why's your shelf so dusty? Why's your shelf so dusty, you're probably saying? Because I don't dust it. idiot, obviously. Yeah, and you see that comic book storage box? It's not even full, but at least I'm honest about it. You know, I don't have one full whole box of single issues, but, you know, my collection is not that big. It's not my fault. It's gonna be one day though. For tracking what you want to read, most people use Comic Geeks, and so do I. It's honestly probably like the best app for tracking what you read and like all things comics. And you can like track new books that are coming out, and you can see books that you want to get, or books that you have in your collection, and books that you like probably read online but you don't have them in your collection, like stuff like that. You can see details about like writers and stuff, like everything that you probably ever want to keep track of in terms of comics. You can probably do through that app, and it's like really simple and really basic to use. Now look, if you're afraid of people thinking that you're overly nerdy or a geek or something like that, honestly, that's kind of your own issue, you know. It is a nerdy interest. Reading comic books and stuff and like collecting figures, it's nerdy. Let's be realistic. Just man up and say, yeah, I'm a nerd about some things. There's nothing wrong with that. And if people say something about that, then they're a loser. They're a dork. Don't listen to people like that, dude. Those people shouldn't even be on your radar. Honestly, the best thing you can do for yourself is just go to your local comic book shop and ask the worker there, hey, can you tell me about books about this character? And if you like them, you can start reading more into that comic book, more into that storyline. Now, honestly, I don't think you should ever start back from the origination of the character, because it's so old and so windy, dude. There's absolutely zero reason you should do that to yourself, because you're deeply gonna regret it. Don't try starting from the origin of the first appearance of a comic book character, because it's awful. I promise. Just don't do it to yourself. Honestly, there has been so many writings and rewritings of characters and stories that sometimes characters like aren't even the same as you know them from like the movies and TV shows. It's so different from reading a comic book because there's so many different versions. Honestly, the best bang for your buck I would probably say would be either All-Star Superman or Batman Hush. These two comic books are my personal two favorite comic books out of everything I have read. They're just so amazing and like genuine and emotionally impactful. Reading the stories is absolutely beautiful, and they're probably two of the most iconic books in all of comic book history, just because they're so amazing and so impactful on an emotional level, dude. All-Star Superman is pretty much the story of how Superman got radiation poisoning from the sun, and he became like super powerful, but he became like too powerful to where it was like killing him. Like the cells were slowly bursting in him because of how much solar radiation he took in. And there's a part in the book where he's talking to Lois, and Lois just found out, and she's like crying. She's asking him to find a way. She's asking him to promise that he'll do something, promise he'll get better. And while they're talking, Superman hears a kid on the phone with his doctor. The kid is crying on top of a rooftop, and he's about to jump off the rooftop, and Superman tells Lois he has to go in their middle of their conversation when she just found out he's dying. And Superman flies, and he goes behind the kid, and he stops him, and he talks to him, and he talks the kid down, and he saves him. It really just goes to show the things Superman has to bear and the things he has to go through in his own personal life to save other people, and things he has to do to help other people. Honestly, the emotional impact alone is just so crazy when you read a comic book. It's so worth it, just immersing yourself in a world that's so creatively beautiful. Some of the best stories you'll ever read are some characters that you don't even think you'd like that much. I was never a super big fan of like Wonder Woman, but then I started reading Absolute Wonder Woman, dude. She's my favorite character in the Absolute universe now. Like, her comic book story is like so good. It's way better than Absolute Batman, than Absolute Flash, Absolute Superman, Absolute Green Arrow. I never thought that I would like that book that much. I just was trying it, and then I thought it would be like something that I kind of had to read because it's in the universe. But it's my favorite now. There's so many surprises when you're reading that you'll genuinely enjoy and you'll genuinely love. But that's really all I have to say. This was more of a different kind of video that I usually make. You know, I tried doing something different. I kind of like this style more. I kind of like making videos like these. I'm just gonna start, I think, doing more videos about things that I like in general, things that I'm passionate about, and like things that I just have an interest in. I feel like that's way cooler than sticking to one specific niche of something. I feel like I'll enjoy it more, and I'll be able to make better videos, like if I'm being more open and honest with myself and things that I like. And I think that'll show through the content. I really like being more creative with the editing and creating something rather than just talking and posting a video with a couple videos behind it. I like creating and editing. That's what I want to do for these videos. So if you do really like this, you know, there's gonna be more. So maybe check me out, look at the channel, let me know if you like what you see, subscribe, maybe like the video, you know, show some support. I would appreciate that. But yeah, that's all I have to say. See ya.